What's good?
Hey everyone.
What it do? What's poppin'? Her name is Ebony.
His name is Eugene.
And today's topic is, do you know who you are?
Do you?
3G, 3G, 3G. Yeah. I do what I do. I do what I do. You do it through me. 3G.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
So, we've come to realize a lot of people don't know who they are. They don't know their purpose. They don't know why they've been placed on this earth. And we feel it's very important that you take that time to understand who you are and why you've been placed on this earth and all the things that you have to offer and to bring.
Yes. God has a purpose and a plan for each and every single one of us. There's a reason why we are here on earth. And our job, I feel as though, as we go through life and as we go through our journey, is to figure out, why are we here? Who are we? Who did God create us to be?
And as we step into our purpose, it helps others to step into their purposes as well.
Yes.
Because when we don't know who we are, we try to find ourselves through all different kind of ways. We'll try to identify ourselves through our jobs. We'll try to identify ourselves through our families, through our children, through our income level, or through our educational level, or through a position that we may hold. And that's not who you are.
And sometimes people will try to tell you who you are, and they don't even know who you are. That's why it's important to know who you are.
Exactly. Because a lot of us don't know who we are, yet we're trying to help others discover who they are as we're still lost in who we are. So it's very important that you take that time to figure out who you are, because you're not just a husband. You're not just a wife. You're not just a father. You're not just a mother. That is part of who you are. But that's not the core of your being.
Right.
That's just a part of who you are.
I agree.
So it's very important that we keep that in mind and that we know the difference.
Definitely.
It's very hard to know your worth when you don't know who you are. It's hard to truly value all that you are and all that you bring and all that God has created you to be when you're not sure of who you are. It doesn't make you a good or bad person not knowing or knowing who you are. And it doesn't make you better than anyone because you know who you are. It just helps you to fully step in to your purpose, your calling, your being. And there's so much fulfillment and joy that comes when you're stepping into who you are.
Yes.
Now, don't get us wrong. You're going to have to try some things and figure some things out and test some things to sometimes find who you are. And it can be quite a process.
It can. It can definitely be a process. I know for me, honestly, I felt as though that I would put on a mask a lot of times, not truly genuinely being myself, not letting free, not being who I was called to be. Now, there were certain parts that I was doing, but I didn't feel like I was truly embodying who I was. And in order to really embody who you are, you have to spend time with yourself. You have to spend time with God, and you have to spend time with yourself. You have to ask yourself questions, just as if you were to ask someone else a question. Ask yourself those same questions, like, what do I like? Who am I? What do I like doing? Why do I like doing these things? Why do I get angry? Like, literally getting deep into these questions and figuring out who you are.
And as my wife alluded to, there's a spiritual aspect and there's also a natural aspect as well. And sometimes that will go together. Like the strengths and weaknesses will be the same, and sometimes it won't. Sometimes you may be a more quiet person in your natural state, but when you're spiritually activated, you may become very charged up and be very loud and radical. It doesn't mean you can't be that way as well in your natural, but sometimes they're similar and sometimes they could be a little bit different, and depending on the scenario.
I agree. And it's good to know those things about yourself instead of just going with the flow. Ask yourself those questions. Why am I this way? You know, ask God, like, why did you create me this way? Why am I this way? Why am I doing this a certain way? And really get the answer from yourself as well, because the answers are within yourself as well. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but realistically, when you ask yourself a question, a lot of times that answer comes out, literally, if you try it.
Very true. So ask God, speak to God, and speak to yourself.
Yeah.
Spend time with yourself. A lot of times we don't actually sit and think and allow ourselves to understand ourselves, you know, and to question ourselves, as you were alluding to.
Right.
You know, those answers will come out one way or another, whether it be a natural or a spiritual, you know, occurrence that happens.
And there's a lot of freedom that comes with knowing yourself. I know for me, I cry a lot. And at first, I used to think that was a bad thing. But the more I spend time with myself, that's just a way that I express myself. That doesn't necessarily mean that the situation is bad or good or whatever. That's just how I express myself. And I learned that by spending time with myself and realizing that it's okay.
And tears have different meanings. Some tears can be of joy. Some can be of sadness. As she said, it's not always just one thing or another. But when you know yourself, you allow yourself to express yourself how you are. Because as my wife said, there's freedom in knowing who you are. Definitely. You don't have to put up this mask. You don't have to try to be this way when you're here, be this way when you're over there. You can just consistently be yourself. And there's so much freedom that comes with that.
There is. You can truly be yourself. You can truly be free in who you are without having to worry about what someone has to say or how they feel. It doesn't matter. That's just who you are.
Great point. When you know who you are, you worry less about what people think or say that you are. So step in that.
Step in it.
Take some time to yourself. Talk to God. Talk to yourself. Go within yourself, within your being. See what makes you happy, what brings you joy. And I guarantee you that's part of who you are. It's going to bring you joy. It's going to bring you satisfaction.
It is. It's life-changing.
It is.
It's life-changing, and other people will notice that about you. Notice that you are truly, genuinely joyful and peaceful because you're content with knowing who you are.
Amen. Couldn't have said it any better myself. So, we're not going to make it longer than it needs to be. If you're feeling the vibe, like and subscribe. And if you ain't,
just leave us a thumbs up, 2 thumbs up, 3 thumbs up, 8 thumbs up.
That'll work. And we out.
Bye.